Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And what we're going to make are cookies. But in particular, we're going to make pizzelles. Now, if you're looking for Italian pizzelles, I have several on my channel. I mean, I have the confetti type, you name it, I've got it. So if you're looking for a traditional Italian pizzelle cookie, you know, check it out. But this recipe kind of came to me, well, by accident. I actually was making a recipe and then all of a sudden I thought, you know what, I'm going to tweak it to make a pizzelle, a cookie, but be an apple cinnamon crisp pizzelle cookie. And it turns out they came out absolutely delicious. And when I had my friends sample them, they agreed that it was, well, kind of just a concoction of ideas of putting these ingredients together to make this apple cinnamon crisp cookie. But I'm going to use my pizzelle machine, okay? So let's get started. You're going to start off with 2 cups of baking mix. Now, many of us know the traditional baking mix that we can buy in the grocery store. But if you want to save some money and also you have the ingredients probably in your kitchen, I do have a video recipe to make this baking mix for very inexpensively, where you're not paying, you know, whatever it is for a box of the baking mix. But if it's easier just to buy the baking mix, and you know what I'm talking about, the brand, it makes waffles and pancakes and coffee cakes, etc. But again, I make my own. I know the ingredients that I put into it. I know it's fresh and it's so inexpensive, so I make my own baking mix. But you go ahead and purchase it or check out my video to make your own. That's 2 cups. We're also going to put 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar into the baking mix and just start to stir it. Now, I probably should have had a little bit bigger of a bowl to do this in, but we're going to use this one right now. Okay, the next thing that you're going to be putting in is 1 egg, and I've had it at room temperature. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in oil. So put 2 tablespoons of oil. Now, you decide what oil that you prefer, that you like. You go ahead and do that. The next, what we're going to do is we're going to start to put in a 1/2 cup of milk, but just a little at a time, because you might find that you want to lose a little less or that type of thing. So I'm just going to add a little at a time to start combining this together. Okay. All right, now once I do that, I'm going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon, not a teaspoon, I'm sorry, a 1/4 cup of applesauce. Now you can use unsweetened or you can use, you know, sweetened. It's really up to you. Now this is where you start to see it really kind of come together. Okay, and then I'm going to add the rest of the milk. Now, if you find after bringing this all together that it's still a little too thick, then I always keep a little milk here. As you can see, I filled up a 1/4 cup just in case I felt like I needed it. But let me mix this all together, and then I want to show you some of a batch that I made ahead of time, but I did have it in the refrigerator. Okay, and I want to show you let me show you what I got so far. Okay, all right, and now this is also another point. If you'd like to, if you really like cinnamon, add a teaspoon of cinnamon in your batter. If you want it. If you don't want a lot of cinnamon, then just, you know, follow the recipe that I've got so far. But you know what? Better yet, let's put it in. Let's put it in because I really think that we should add this to the recipe. So I'm going to put a teaspoon of cinnamon in and mix that in. I think you're really going to like that extra cinnamon. This recipe has been so much fun for me because, like I said, I just, I started making something else in mind, and then I kind of created it, and I did it, and it came out, and it was a lot of fun, and it is fun to create sort of your own recipe and adapt it. Okay, now I have some here to show you already that I did have set up. I did put it in the refrigerator, okay, and you can kind of see the consistency to it, okay. Now, if you find and you think that it looks a little thick, then again, this is where I want you to just put a little bit more milk, not too much. You don't want this batter to be real liquidy, but you don't want it real thick either, okay? So, and after it sets a few minutes, or especially when I put it in my fridge, it seems to set it up a little bit. So, you want to have a consistency about what I'm showing you now, okay? Now, I have my iron already heated. I do have to spray mine because I don't have a Teflon finish on it. You might have a Teflon one. And now I use my small scoop and just put it down in there. Now that's probably equivalent to, oh boy, I would say at least a tablespoon if you don't have a small scoop. Okay, so we're going to put it in the maker, and then I have to wait to see the light go off so that I'll know that it's baked. And then you will want a cooling rack to put them on. Now, you can you can actually put them in granulated sugar and cinnamon and do them while they're warm, or you can actually apply it when it's cold. And I'll be honest with you, I preferred when I could actually put them on when they were cold, but that's going to be up to you, how you want to handle it. What I do want to tell you though is that I want you to really bake them till they're really a golden brown. In traditional pizzelles, you tend to want to bake them so they're up very light colored, but in this cookie, I want you to bake it till it really shows itself to be extremely well baked and well done. And as you see, I just kind of checked on it. It didn't look ready, so I put it back down. Okay. What I'll probably do now with this batch is that I will put it in my fridge till I'm ready to make them. Okay. So let's check on them again. Okay, here we go. Here's a great example how nice, how nice and brown they are. Now they're hot to handle. You could go ahead and then put them in your sugar, or just sprinkle that on top before they cool with your cinnamon sugar. I hope that you can see that. Okay, like that. You can actually put them in your bowl and then lay them down. Okay, here's another one. You can see they're extremely very well cooked. What I generally do though is I put them on my cooling rack. I wait till they're cool because they're so much easier to handle. They really are. I let them cool, and then after they're cool, then I actually just take it and I sprinkle the sugars, and enough of the sugar cinnamon here will stick to it when it's cold. But if you want to do it while the cookie is hot, feel free. But I really find that I kind of like to do them when they're cool. Okay, so let's see. Rather than make well, you know what? Let me make a couple more, and while they're baking, I'm going to show you what they look like. Okay. All right. So we'll put that down. I want to rinse my hands because I was working with raw egg. All right. And let's set that aside while we're waiting for those to bake up. And this is how they will turn out. They really come out so pretty. And as you can see, they're extremely well baked. They're very brown in color. Again, this is not really a traditional baking process that you do with Italian pizzelles. Depending on what you put in your batter, of course, you know, if you're making like chocolate or something, it's going to be even darker. But I want you to really bake them really well so they will again have that really crisp crunch to them. Okay, so let me set that down just for a second. We'll see how these are coming along, and they still need a couple more seconds. I went ahead and I used the batter that I just mixed, so I could show you that. Okay, but again, let's take a look at that cookie, how pretty. Now, these were done where the cinnamon and the sugar was applied after it was cooled, okay? And I did some that were warm, and I really didn't find that much of a difference on the application of the cinnamon and sugar. I really liked doing it when they were cool because, you know, they're hot to handle, and it's so much easier when they cool. Okay, so I want to show you that, and just to go back to the cookie itself, you can see all the different ones, and you know, whether they're not perfectly shaped, that's not going to affect the taste or anything like that. Okay, now when you break them, they'll be extremely crispy. I don't know if you can see that, but they will have, when you bite into them, you'll have that wonderful taste of that applesauce and cinnamon and sugar, which really go well together. And these cookies, I mean, if you're so inclined, you could actually put ice cream between them. You could put ice cream on top of them and your favorite topping. So you could use it for that. You might even want them for a base to put maybe some fresh strawberries and a little bit of dab of whipped cream. But these cookies really come out just delightful, and you can see how crispy they are. They really are a great tasting little cookie or pizzelle. So there you have it. I won't have the ingredients listed below because I mention in all my videos now, due to my videos being taken and put on other sites where people are taking credit for them, it's just not worth it anymore to do that. I appreciate you watching me, but please watch me solely on YouTube, because I always tell you, if you try this recipe and you like it, or you want to leave a comment or ask a question, if you leave it on YouTube, I'm going to get it and I'm going to be able to respond to you. So please watch me solely on YouTube. If you're so inclined and you'd like to subscribe, boy, I'd really appreciate it, or ring the bell, or even a like. Thank you so much. Well, I want to thank you again for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And please give these cookies a try the next time you want to make a pizzelle cookie, but a little bit different in nature. Give them a try. Well, thanks again. I'll see you soon.